Even though the Cold War had ended, several severe conflicts erupted in the 1990s, despite people's prayers for peace all over the world. Soon after the fall of the Berlin Wall, instead of wars between states, civil wars and conflicts have threatened the people. Conflicts have recurred even when they were thought to have ended. The probability of this happening within 5 years is quite high, which is 44%. Factors contributing to the conflicts are numerous, including 1. Inequalities between groups and collisions of identity. 2. Economic issues such as poverty and unemployment, monopolization of wealth. And 3. The lack of ability to maintain public order and to establish the rule of law. Reflecting the reality and the experience of the early 90s, United Nations announced the report An Agenda for Peace in 1992. This report showed the needs of post-conflict peacebuilding to prevent a recurrence of conflict, besides the importance of preventive diplomacy, peacemaking, and peacekeeping. As the third pillar of peacebuilding, socioeconomic assistance drew attention in addition to political and military approaches. The definition of the term peacebuilding has gradually expanded to include conflict prevention. The aim of peacebuilding now is not simply to establish a situation where there is no armed conflict, negative peace, but to reach beyond that, to create a situation of positive peace. Additionally, since the 1990s, there has been a change in the understanding of conflict amongst the actors involved in development assistance. Whereas conflict had been seen as an external element before, now the understanding of it was that it was intimately connected with development. How to govern a fragile state and a failed state drew attention in the context of the war on terrorism, and in solving these issues, the rebuilding and strengthening of nations' political systems and abilities became a major issue. JICA's peacebuilding support has at its aim building a resilient state to prevent the occurrence and recurrence of conflict. JICA, through its peacebuilding assessment, implements conflict prevention strategies, and from the top-down approach to establish a government trusted by the people, and from the bottom-up approach to create a strong society. By combining these approaches in a flexible way, JICA has worked in many fields against a variety of elements that could cause conflicts. The Philippines consists of about 7,000 islands of various sizes. About 900 kilometers south of Luzon, which is home to Manila, the national capital, is Mindanao. On the midwest of the island, there is an area so-called Bangsamoro, home to a sizable Muslim population. In the mid-19th century, the Spanish, as conquerors, started to step into this place. All through the U.S. colonial period, and also after the independence of the Philippines, Christians consisting of the majority of citizens has continuously made inroads into this area. Tensions between the two sides increased as Christians took land away from the Moro, Muslims who had lived in the area for generations. Starting in the early 1970s, in an effort to gain independence from the Philippines, there was a succession of armed conflicts by the Moro, which continued for over 40 years. In 1996, the Moro National Liberation Front MNLF and the Philippine government reached the final peace agreement. The MNLF participated in the government of the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, ARMM.
This is the fruit of the aspiration of the Bangsamoro during the time of the Moro National Liberation Front. So basically, the people that are being served by the regional government are mostly dominantly are Bangsamoros, which comprises Muslims that residing in this area.
But many of the MNLF members could not accept ARMM autonomy as a political solution. The Moro Islamic Liberation Front, MILF, has broken off from the MNLF and has waged a battle against the Philippine government since then. Since 2006, Japan, at the request of the Philippine government and MILF, has participated in the International Monitoring Team, IMT, to support the peace process in Mindanao, which is made up of neighboring countries. Using this as a starting point, Japan has also begun development assistance called Japan Bangsamoro Initiative for Reconstruction and Development, JBIRD. Since 2009, Japan has also participated in the International Contact Group, ICG, to provide support for the transiently stalled peace process, thus providing support in 3 different ways. JBIRD's unique feature is its steady-going development support alongside the peace process if it's in an unstable condition. The development efforts under JBIRD to improve the socio-economic infrastructures, livelihoods of the community, and develop capacity of the local governance could have contributed directly and indirectly to the progress of peace process.
While the Japanese government have been already engaged in several development programs in the Philippines and even in Mindanao, but for the JICA, the engagement is basically tied up with the peace process. JICA have been one of the main contributor in the peace building in the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we also invite the President of the Philippines and the Prime Minister.
March 27, 2014, the Philippine government and MILF reached the comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro aiming at establishing a new autonomous government. Two years have passed since then, and Mindanao residents' attitudes towards peace have changed drastically.
Kumikita ng tamang-tama, pangkain sa 3 beses ang araw. Pero kung darating ang conflict na nakaka-effect sa pagkatao ko bilang Muslim, as a Moro, magtatago ako, lalaban ako. Pero kung ito, okay na ang lugar, peaceful na, maraming mga dayuhan, mga investor na darating dito, yung mga pamilya ko, anak ko, nakatapos mag-aral, di madali na lang ang pagkuha nila ng trabaho.
Kasi lahat ng tao na nabubuhay ng marangal at walang gulo. Yung mga kabataan na nakapag-aral o ano dyan, kasi walang gulo.
After the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, the first project that JICA implemented was a quick impact project meant to share the peace. About an hour's drive away from Cotabato, in this city in the mountains, residents chose construction of a new schoolhouse for the elementary school. In this school, there are not only Muslims and Christians, but also many indigenous children. By enlisting the help of family members and villagers to help build the schoolhouse, JICA aimed to bring stability to the community.
The barangay chairman asked the Purok leaders and the Kagawads that they will bring their hardworking man here to work for this building.
Beginning with this kind of support, JICA carefully picked up the region's needs and continued providing support in the form of 1. Institutional building and human resources development, 2. Community development and the improvement of livelihood, and 3. Regional development. In terms of community development, especially in areas that were affected by the conflict, the Bangsamoro Development Agency, BDA, an organization under MILF, was the channel through which projects were implemented.
So, generally, what we are doing with the JICA program to facilitate the implementation to the community for their empowerment, and at the same time, along the implementation, BDA capacitated in the technical side, and we capacitated also to work with the local government as government agency. So it is a grateful for us as part of our journey toward having the Bangsamoro government.
The BDA was established for reconstruction and development of the Bangsamoro region. It is a large organization with 87 workers and over 300 volunteers. In the very front line of the project development are volunteers, known as catalysts.
Ako po ay si Muhalidin Ahmad, 37 years old. Actually, 6 years na ako sa BDA, sa Bangsamoro Development Agency. Ako po ay nag-umpisa as a volunteers ng organisasyong Bangsamoro Development Agency. So nagsisilbi po rin akong tagahatid ng konting teknolohiya patungkol po sa vegetable production. So sa programang CDCAM na dumating sa tulong po ng JICA, nadagdagan po yung aking kaalaman patungkol sa pagtuturo o pagbibigay ng teknolohiya ng pagtatanim ng gulay. Okay. So, niya ba sa may imang indication nun sa maskuha na dagin makuha na so kinapis control. Niya ba? So, may pa, isabi niya ba sa kanina mga borer bon. Bags, magkagkalat ka no pamulan tanong.
This demonstration farm gives Christians and Muslims who have never worked with each other an opportunity to do so, all while learning how to grow vegetables.
Ako nakatunan na lipay gid kay kog dako nga nagkahito sa ta. Nga dili na sad kaayo may makuan sa inyo kay kuan man kaning sana nakakuan na mi sa inyo ha ba nga kun anak pud mo nas amo apod Christian nakasabot pud mi sa inyo ha so nagkaintindihay
kung paano mo as in magiging peaceful yung isang community. So isa yan sa mga goal ng aming organisasyon, ang Bangsamoro Development Agency. Paano ma-develop yung isang komunidad na kumbaga let us say na peacefully at kumbaga sa amin is as a Bangsamoro is nandyan na yung takot sa Diyos.
Hugutan mo siya.
In order not to backtrack in the peace process, it is necessary to improve the livelihood of those soldiers who have been involved in the conflict, to train them in jobs and reintegrate them into society.
Ini backup berbata na red tilapia. Isa ka kuan na siya. Kagi na teta may irregular ka nga para di ka makuha na sa kuan mga activities nang kuan tingin pagkamong. Das. Kaya sa kami to kata. That is red tilapia. Das. Per kilo 200 pesos. Per kilo. Nya kulik ko ta finger lens sa nya bubapan na mga labi 10,000 pesos. Itaga ko na kanya sa maya, ko na bubuga sa bunggo ko na kapi.
JICA provides support for tilapia farming as an element in its project for livelihood improvement in the region.
Ya ko kakuan sa elwa ne bana so kinaadon siya o kinomar kami o projika bidinggu ay sinit sidikam JICA. Busa sa livestock makapamanduro sa ko mga pengantan rumambu ang mga beneficiary sa SIPSEL. Tanong pengenin sa gobyerno na tuloy-tuloy sa proses mana ginanabibil na makanggulolan so kaya pasada no emailip aguso.
JICA, by supporting community development, also aims to facilitate the reintegration of soldiers into society. In June of 2016, the new president was inaugurated. The peace process pushed forward under the former president was handed over to the new administration.
JICA has enough, let's say, tools in its pocket, different types of assistance. So you reach ordinary people there. It has done good work in supporting the strengthening of administrative governance in the armed regional government. I mean, without JICA's assistance, the armed regional government right now would not have made the kind of successes. And I hope JICA will not waver in its support for peace in Mindanao.
There is still much to do for the peace building in Mindanao. Located between India and China's Tibet area is an inland country, Nepal. This country, attracting tourists from all over the world, is home to the tallest mountain in the world, standing 8,848 meters high, Sagarmatha, known in English as Mount Everest. Its land, only 230 kilometers from top to bottom, encompasses everything from mountains 8,000 meters high to subtropical areas 70 meters above sea level, a rich array of nature. Surprisingly enough, in this country, a civil war broke out. After the National Unification Program under the Shah dynasty in 1769, Nepal had maintained a monarchy for 200 years. After the end of the Cold War, however, democratization movements began to surge worldwide. And in 1990, there began a citizens' movement for democratization in Nepal as well, at the end of which a new constitution was established. The king became the symbol, and the country took its first step as a constitutional monarchy. The government was unstable, however, with the cabinet changing 9 times in 10 years. As a result, farmers and those living in poverty, accounting for 80% of the population in total, were not able to receive much benefit from the country's democratization and economic growth. It was against this backdrop in 1996 that the Maoists rose up in arms against the government. Their aim was to take down the monarchy and establish People's Republic. The king at the time limited the crackdown on the Maoists, as he considered them to be citizens even as they were waging an armed struggle. Instead of utilizing the army, he used the police to deal with them. Things changed in 2001, however, with the Nepalese royal massacre. The concept of a war on terrorism instigated by the 9/11 attack on the United States and spreading throughout the world. The Maoists, influenced by these events, intensified their fight in Nepal. The army was mobilized to deal with them, and the number of casualties increased dramatically. The total number of casualties over the 10 years up to the Comprehensive Peace Agreement in 2006 was over 17,000. The Civil War came to an end in 2006. In 2008, a declaration was made to announce Nepal's transition into a federal democratic republic, effectively ending the monarchy that had prevailed for 240 years. Nepal began to take its first step as a federal democratic republic and rebuild the country. It took 7 years to establish a new constitution. Japan, along with the international community as a whole, has assisted in this rebuilding process by offering its support in the revision of the Constitution, the establishment of a legal system, the strengthening of governance, and the development of infrastructure and the livelihood improvement. JICA, as part of its program to support democratization, provides support for the Constituent Assembly, elections, the Civil Code, the media, and the Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanism, Community Mediation. Nepal is a country of many languages and ethnicities, reflecting the diversity of the land. Nepal is also home to many different religions: Hinduism, whose believers constitute the majority, Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity, whose believers are a minority. Each ethnic group, or Jat in Nepal, has its own culture and tradition. Jat, like castes, is a social structure which to some extent also categorizes different tribes. Jat is intimately tied to each group's history and culture, so that it is indispensable to the continuation of tradition. On the other hand, however, it is a divisive element of Nepalese society. Due to the conflict, political assertion is now based more on ethnicity and Jat, which may form the gulf in the society. JICA provides support for a community mediation program that aims to prevent small disputes amongst the people from escalating into political or armed conflicts.
यत्रो मान्छेको माझमा त भनिसक्यो हजुर यो चाहिँ नचाहिँदो कुरा लागेछ भनेछ आफ्नो पानी खान पाउनु छैन बाटो हिँड्न पाउनु पनि छैन अब कति बेर लाठाले हेरेर खुट्टो भादिने हो कि के गर्ने हो त्यो पनि थाहा छैन अब मैले त अलि ठुलै मान्छे भनेर हजुरलाई रोजेको छु मेरो पक्षमा गरिदिनु पर्यो हजुर अब त्यो त अब
कस्तो किसिमको नियम बनाउने हो हजुर हामीलाई थाहा छैन यो कुरो त के गर्ने हो हामीले
यस्ता नियम बनाएर हुँदैन हजुर त्यो नियम सियमको कुरो छैन यहाँ चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ त्यो चाहिन्छ मैले त त्यो बाटो र पानी
तैँले के गरे हो
JICA was involved in the training of community mediators. The mediators were chosen out of the local residents. So that many types of people would be comfortable speaking to the mediator, JICA ensured that some of the mediators were women or from low social standing.
Community mediators just facilitate the parties, disputing parties, to resolve their disputes by themselves. Yeah? Community mediators are the independent third persons. Yeah? They just facilitate to make interaction, to share their ideas to resolve that dispute.
म गरिब छु, मेरो आर्थिक अवस्था एकदम कमजोर छ, मलाई त्यो 20,000 नभएर मलाई त्यसमा अलिकति केही कम गरिदिँदाखेरि मलाई केही राहत हुन्थे, म एकदम विपन्न वर्गको मान्छे हो भन्ने कुराहरू उहाँको भनाइ आए। अब यसलाई चाहिँ यो मेलमिलाप कार्यक्रम यहाँ लागू भइसकेपछि सरसल्लो तरिकाले न्याय पाउने भयो हैन। अब निशुल्क ढंगले चाहिँ सेवा प्रदान गरिने भयो र सेवा प्रदान गरेपछि त्यसमा शुल्क नलाग्ने भयो, समयको बचत हुने भयो हैन। र त्यसमा पनि के छ भने अब कानुनी उपचारमा जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ एउटाको जित एउटाको हार हुने र हामीले मेलमिलाप सत्रमा गएर चाहिँ त्यहाँ चाहिँ मेलमिलाप गराइसकेपछि चाहिँ त्यहाँ हार जित भन्ने कुरा हुँदैन, दुवैको जितै जित हुन्छ। त्यहाँ त कानुनले त एउटालाई दण्डित एउटालाई पुरस्कृत हुन्छ, तर हाम्रो यहाँ त्यो हुँदैन, दुवैले जितको चाहिँ आभास गर्न पाउने अवस्था छ।
This is Barnabas, a rice-growing region in the plains of Terai. Close to the Indian border and with a low altitude, people who live in this area differ ethnically from those living in the capital of Kathmandu. In this area, there is discrimination based on jat, political confrontation, and gender issues arising from discrimination against women. Many of the complaints that are heard in the mediation process are based on these factors.
मलाई चाहिँ जग्गा सम्बन्धीमा साँच शिव कार्कीले चाहिँ मेरो जग्गा चाहिँ साँच मिचिदिएको हुनाले गर्दाखेरि मलाई चाहिँ भनौँ अब बारम्बार उहाँले चाहिँ यो किन यस्तो गर भन्दाखेरि पनि उहाँले चाहिँ गर्दाखेरि त्यो समस्या लिएर यहाँ आएको हो। अब यो चाहिँ न्याय यहाँ चाहिँ मैले केही पाउँछु कि भनेर तपाईहरुसँग मेलमिलाप केन्द्र सुनेर चाहिँ म यहाँ आएको हुँ।
Gradually, different law are just enacting to reduce that gender problem. Although in practice, women are not getting equal right as mentioned in the law, and it is a very big problem here because it is that Tarai district. Gradually, people are now just enhancing their knowledge and they are just trying to reduce this kind of problem.
Article 51 in the new Constitution establishes the role of mediators in the community, stating that in the event that a conflict or dispute occurs in a village, it will be mediated and solved within the village. JICA, having completed the pilot phase of this community mediator program, which began in 2009, now works with its counterpart, the Ministry of Local Development, to implement and establish this program in all areas of the country. Poverty has been a significant issue in Nepal, both before and after the conflict, especially in rural areas. In minimizing divisions in society and preventing the recurrence of conflict, it is necessary not only to provide support in the area of governance, but also to support the development of agriculture, which is a key industry in Nepal. Only in doing so would the people's livelihood improve. JICA has, even before and within the conflict, provided support for Nepal in the agriculture sector, as well as the improvement of infrastructures, such as the development of roads and the construction of schools. Out of these, the core of the project was the construction of the Sindali Road, which began in 1995 and was completed in 2015. The Sindali Road, approximately 160 kilometers long, runs from the area around Kathmandu through precipitous hills to the southern part of the Terai Plain. Once there was a case where goods from India were not able to reach Kathmandu because of landslides caused by heavy rain. Even goods from the international community sent as aid were only able to be received by air. Nepal, having such an experience, long wished for this road, with low risk of being closed off, which connected India to Kathmandu. JICA has also been supporting agricultural development in the area around this newly built road so that people can benefit fully from it. The Community Mediator program mentioned before also started in this area. People in this region reap the multiple benefits from development.
It was drastically changed. There they are selling their look. Not only that contributes in the health sector also. Now there are many health posts there, ambulance services are there. Otherwise, in between Sindali Bazar to Dhulikhel, if people got sick and all, they have to be carried away manually. So now, nothing like that. Now, I mean, ambulances are there, health posts are there, school improved. Types of agriculture also, people depends on rice field only. Now they are going for the vegetables and all, cash crops. Drastically changed.
The 4 districts along Sindali Road, Kavrapalanchok, Ramechap, Sindali, and Mahotari were underdeveloped, poverty-stricken areas, which served as part of the Maoist base during the 10 years of the Civil War. JICA will proceed with the construction of the road passing through this area, and its plan was to help introduce fruits and vegetables to this region to improve livelihood of the residents.
यसैमा नि आत्मनिर्भर रहन्छु म विदेशलाई त्यागेर अनि यही जुनार अनि त्यही नर्सरी चाहिँ कफी अनि त्यहाँबाट गएर त्यो टमाटर लगायतका चाहिँ अरु अन्य हामीसँग काउलीहरू पनि छन्
अहिले हामी खास गरी स्थानीय निकाय चाहिँ राजनीतिक नेतृत्वविहीन अथवा जनप्रतिनिधिविहीन अवस्थामा छ यो अवस्थामा गरिबी निवारणका कार्यक्रमहरू पनि हामीले विभिन्न स्थानीय राजनीतिक दलहरू को समन्वय सहकार्य र गैर सरकारी सङ्घ संस्थाहरूको सहकार्य र समन्वयमा हामी
तपाईलाई चाहिँ उहाँले whoever we train as a mediator, they have been working from their inner of heart and they are successfully resolving dispute, and they are doing their best, to bring a harmonious kind of society in the community. Therefore, community and society harmonious, and peace building. Therefore, I really want to salute them as a peace agent.
As we have seen, in conflict-affected countries like the Philippines and Nepal, JICA provides seamless peace-building assistance starting before the end of the conflict through various approaches. For instance, the governance sector, including judicial systems and community mediation, socioeconomic infrastructures, roads, bridges, schools, health posts, water and sanitation facilities, and community development and livelihood improvement, and so on. Peace building is always a long but challenging way to go.
Hey, come here, bud.